a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Dr. King once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" The individuals and organizations we honor today clearly understand Dr. King's call and are answering by making dramatic improvements in the lives of so many others. We celebrate the content of their character.
Hello everyone, I'm Tamara Banks. Welcome to the 2016 Dr. Martin Luther King Business Awards, as we honor 6 inspirational individuals and organizations in our community and pay special tribute to a pioneer in the civil rights movement, Dr. Evie Garrett Dennis, with the Trailblazer Award. This year marks the 31st anniversary of this event. In 1986, 2 years after the passage of House Bill 1201 that established Dr. King's birthday as a holiday in Colorado, Mrs. Wilma J. Webb founded the Martin Luther King Jr. Business Social Responsibility Awards to give the business community an opportunity to honor the memory of Dr. King and reaffirm our commitment to the values he taught us. Last year, the name of the award was shortened to the Martin Luther King Jr. Business Awards. A total of 219 individuals, corporations, and nonprofit organizations have received this meaningful award over the years. Today, we added 7 more names to this prestigious list.
Michelle Campbell is an engineer and counselor with experience developing employee systems, workplace investigations, diversity audits, mediation, and executive coaching nationwide.
So I think that corporations that really want to stay in business and really be effective and be good stewards of the economy are not looking at diversity and inclusion from an internal standpoint. They're looking at it how to be effective from an external standpoint.
Her publications, workshops, and keynote addresses include topics on organizational effectiveness and establishing policies based on race, gender, sexual harassment, disability, and age.
Really, it's just looking at collectively, how do we utilize people in our workforce to get things done.
With her husband, Michelle founded the Colorado Diversity and Inclusion Think Tank, an organization focused on enhancing the culture of corporations and nonprofits. Marco Campos founded Denver-based Campos EPC in his basement when he was 30 years old. It's an engineering, procurement, and construction firm, and in just 9 years, Campos EPC has grown to become a market leader that employs about 200 people in 5 offices across the U.S. and Toronto, Canada. But Marco hasn't forgotten where he came from. He and his sister were raised by their mom in a small house in the Barnum neighborhood in West Denver.
Grew up very humbly, and so understanding the value that it brought to me to have somebody help you along the way, particularly around education.
A graduate of CU Boulder, Marco is active in the community, working to instill the spirit of giving back in his company's culture through internships, job shadowing, and scholarships.
You'd be surprised how many people come in here saying, I'm going to be a basketball player, and leave and with a little bit of a reality check and understanding what it means and what is your plan A, because that sounds like a plan D.
In 2014, Marco established the Campos EPC Foundation to elevate underserved minorities and girls in their pursuit of careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, directly impacting more than 1,000 students each year.
We also this year sponsored a new lab at Samuels Elementary. Very exciting piece of work for us, you know, to sit in an auditorium with 500 elementary kids and have them screaming about how excited they are to integrate this type of curriculum into their work that they're doing on a daily basis. It's very exciting for us.
Marco hopes to support 6 more labs over the next couple of years. America Schools were founded by Congressman Jared Polis in 2003. They're a network of 5 public charter schools across 2 states, serving about 2,000 students, a unique population, recent immigrants, families, and children who want to learn or perfect their English and earn a high school diploma. New America Schools provide a chance to succeed when other avenues have failed, which helps our entire community.
Research has indicated for every student that does not graduate, it probably costs the taxpayers of this country close to $300,000 per student in terms of lost wages, taxes, social services provided for them.
New America Schools have served close to 13,000 students in the Denver area alone, 1,000 of which have graduated. They're fully accredited, publicly funded institutions that serve young people 15 to 21.
We're advocating for students that can't advocate for themselves. We provide a safe learning environment for them. We have teachers that are supportive and provide hope for these students.
The future looks bright, with a mission to expand to more Southwest states. Angelina Rivera-Malpiede is a lifelong community advocate.
My mother taught me that this is our community, and that means that we all live here and we all take care of each other.
And that's how Angie lives her life. She's currently the Vice President of the Stapleton Foundation and Executive Director of the Northeast Transportation Connection. She's a true community organizer.
At some point, it goes from being a community to being a family, and that's really what I think about when I think about where I'm working in the community is I want everybody to know they're not alone.
Angie has served the community through a number of professional and volunteer positions, including the Fast Track Citizens Advisory Committee, where she oversaw the Workforce Division.
And this is an amazing opportunity for community members to get a viable career that could really take care of their families.
Angie also sits on the board of the Center for Trauma and Resilience, helping crime victims in several languages.
The things that they work with, the issues, are so deep in someone's life that it changes your soul.
Angie also spent 20 years developing programs for at-risk girls at Mikasa Resource Center and the Rocky Mountain News.
It is my responsibility to leave this world in a better place than when I came.
Southwest Airlines is recognized as an industry leader and outstanding corporate citizen. Last year, their charitable donations impacted more than 160 area nonprofits. And Southwest Denver-based employees volunteered more than 5,000 hours.
Although we're an airline, I like to think we do some of our best work on the ground in the communities that we serve.
For the past 6 years, the company has led funding for the Southwest Rink at Skyline Park. More than 210,000 skaters have taken a spin on the rink.
It's become a treasured tradition for the citizens of Denver.
Through its medical transportation grant program, Southwest provides more than $3 million in free transportation to more than 100 organizations, including Children's Hospital Colorado and University of Colorado Hospital.
Each year we provide a ticket bank for families in need to use as necessary for transportation to other hospitals for treatment or to bring patients into our hospitals here in Denver.
In November 2015, Southwest Airlines received a rating of 100 from the Human Rights Campaign. We were born into this world for a purpose, and that is to make it a better place. That's Minoru Yasui's life motto, even when he was being discriminated against.
After the horrendous bombing of Pearl Harbor, Japanese immigrants, as well as their U.S.-born American citizen children, Japanese Americans, were seen with loathing and hatred and considered to be enemies of the United States.
And in 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt authorized the deportation incarceration, and curfew for people of Japanese descent. Min was one of the few Japanese Americans who challenged the constitutionality of that curfew order on the grounds of racial discrimination. His case was ultimately heard by the United States Supreme Court, but his conviction was upheld.
My contention obviously was if you begin to erode the liberties and freedom and rights of the individual, then you are indeed jeopardizing the safety of our whole nation.
After internment for most of the war, Min moved to Denver in 1944 and became a legendary leader in civic affairs.
And it didn't take long before the governor and the mayor of Denver noticed this young firebrand and enlisted his help and developed what was called then the Commission on Community Relations. It is now the Agency for Human Relations and Community Partnerships.
A founding member of the Colorado chapter of the Urban League, Min was also instrumental in establishing Denver Native Americans United, now known as the Denver Indian Center.
This battle was never just about Japanese Americans. This battle was about civil liberties, the constitutional rights of all, and equality for all.
And that was his battle until the day he died in 1986.
Lori Yasui, receiving on behalf of Minoru Yasui.
Last November, Min Yasui posthumously received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama during a ceremony at the White House. Evie Garrett Dennis earned her PhD from Nova University in Fort Lauderdale in 1976. She moved to Denver in 1958 as a researcher for the Children's Asthma Research Institute and the Jewish National Home for Asthmatic Children. In 1966, she began her long career in public education, first as a teacher at Lake Junior High School.
I was just looking for something different, and I had taken a minor in education along with my degree in biology and general science, so I thought, do something different.
Dr. Dennis's leadership skills quickly emerged, and in 1988, she was promoted to Deputy Superintendent of the Denver Public School System. She then served as District Superintendent from 1990 to 1994, the first woman and first African American to head the 60,000 student district. One of her primary charges, implement and monitor a U.S. District Court order.
It was to desegregate, they said, the Denver Public Schools root and branch is what they said. That meant at all levels, everywhere, everything.
And she put her life on the line doing so.
I had a bomb put in the restroom on the floor where I worked at the ad building when all of this was going on.
Outside the educational world, Dr. Dennis is a sports icon.
Well, I was vice president of the United States Olympic Committee for 8 years.
And she was instrumental in convening the first convention of the Athletics Congress, now called USA Track and Field. She was the chief of missions for the U.S. Olympic Committee for 2 Pan Am Games, as well as the 1988 Games, all first for a woman in Olympic history. In 2004, Dr. Dennis was inducted into the National Track and Field Hall of Fame. Even Congress and the Senate have honored her. And now a school in Green Valley Ranch bears the name of this great trailblazer.
I didn't think I needed all of that because I did what I did because, first of all, I loved what I was doing and I gave it my best.
Dr. King's memorable words of love, hope, and compassion have clearly stirred the souls of the individuals we honor here today with the 2016 Martin Luther King Jr. Business Awards. We celebrate the content of their character and applaud their efforts to make life better for so many people in Colorado.